All right, Coach. First, just recap Saturday's game and kind of talk about how Cowboys came out of that game.
Yeah, we knew going into the game that we would be playing one of the premier universities in the country. And from a talent perspective, they lived up to every bit of it. They're a big, fast, physical, talented football team. I like the way our team showed. I thought we did some really good things throughout the day. We came out healthy, so that was a good thing for us. Also, to see us play disciplined football, we were very limited. 3 overall penalties throughout the duration of a game between offense and defense that exceeded over 100 plays. So whenever you can play as close to penalty-free as possible, you give yourself a chance. I thought we did that. Thought we protected the ball for the most part. Had a bang-bang play with the turnover there. But we didn't throw it to the other team, and guys pretty much protected it when we ran with it. We did cause 1 turnover as well. So I was pleased with the way we protected the ball. I was pleased with the discipline of our football team. I was pleased with the resiliency and the toughness of our team that continued to fight throughout the duration of the game.
And then, Coach, go ahead and look forward to the Southern game. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, get a chance to go back to Baton Rouge, our state capital, this week to play a very quality football team in Southern University. A proud, traditional football program that have had a lot of success, that have won a lot of SWAC college championships, that have won a lot of black college national championships, and certainly a formidable foe. They're 1-1 on the year with a tough one early in the year against Troy, and came back and played outstanding against Lane College. We McNeese got a chance to play that university in our stadium in 19 here, and it was one that went down to the wire where Southern had the lead at the halftime. So expecting a rowdy, big crowd to be there, expecting a physical, tough football game against a quality opponent.
Okay, we're going to open it up for questions for Coach. We'll do the room first, and we'll open it up for anybody who has anything on Zoom.
Coach, how's your offensive line look after the ball game? There were a lot of players that were helped off the field at different stages of the game.
Yeah, and so we got knocked down, but those guys got back up. We have one, Charlie Zeno, that that's day to day for us. We're trying to see how that's going to turn out. Other than that, all the other guys were hurt for the moment, but weren't injured where it was long term, and so we're pretty much healthy with, besides Charlie Zeno, that we're uncertain about at this time.
What about Powell for this week?
Yeah, so he will not be ready for this week, unfortunately. I'll probably be 2 weeks or so still out before we get C.J. Powell, our wide receiver transfer from Louisiana Tech, who we're extremely excited about. Unfortunately, he will not be with us this week.
The one issue it seemed like is without being able to go deep with that and the pressure, after your first couple drives where you had the slants going, they seemed to shrink the field on bring up their safeties. Yeah,
they condensed the field and they kind of toyed with it, played them in a box to support the run, but at the same time take away from our quick game, which was something we went to early on. Wanted to back them up and to be able to take shots down the field to loosen up that defensive unit, but that requires protection. Anytime you go down the field, that's not a quick throw, so it has to develop. Unfortunately, we couldn't all the time sustain as much as we would have liked to in that aspect of the game, and you attribute that to that opponent. They're really good up front. Inside, I think their inside guys rush as well as their outside guys on the perimeter also.
And what do you see improvement-wise from first week to second week?
Yeah, some of the things we mentioned, way too many penalties in week 1. We cut down those more than half dramatically, which showed resolve of our football team that we can kick a PAT through the upright. That was good to see for our football team. A defensive unit that contested passes and against an opponent that had receivers that was as good, if not better, than what we've ever seen before. That we contested them and we dislodged them and knocked them away from those receivers. They caught a couple of balls throughout the day, but I thought we were in position and made plays on the balls that went down the field. As the field got a little tighter and condensed, they were able to score on us, but it wasn't long balls down the field. So I liked our coverage. I liked the rotation of our defensive front and limiting that opponent to runs that were not significant in constant big gains. So overall, I thought we gave ourselves chances from a defense at times. We flashed offensively at times. Could not get into a rhythm to develop the consistency to allow our defense to stay fresh, or the consistency to withstand length drives or big plays that resulted into points for us. And that was a big difference in a week from week 1 to 2. The big plays offensively that we would have liked to have, which is difficult to come against a team that has such speed and size as we just faced.
What does a game like this weekend really do to the momentum and the confidence of your team?
You know what? I think it bodes well for us. I think it allows our team to know that we can go and we can compete with anyone. I thought we went out there and we competed. We looked like we belonged. We didn't get pushed around and shoved around. Certainly not the outcome we wanted. We would have loved to be victorious. That didn't happen for us. But I thought we were competitive. I thought we gave ourselves chances with opportunities throughout the duration of the game, and I think our players realize that, and it allows them to feel anybody else we play, we can do the same if we play up to that potential.
We got into the strong suit of your team going into this weekend with LSU having 2 other starting tackles. That was going to be the defensive line. How did you think they performed this weekend?
Yeah, for them, the guy who's 1 and the guy who's 1A, 1B, 2, and 3, that's the luxury when you play at a university like that of their team, that there's not much gap difference from the first guy and the next guy and the next guy, that they're all good. They have good players throughout the duration. So even when someone goes down, the next guy, there isn't much difference. And so we knew that, we anticipated, and was very respectful of that, knowing that they had quality guys that may be in the backup role, but that's capable of starting at most universities.
Well, with that being said, how did Chambers and Kinsey and really McNeese as well kind of play for you this year?
I thought they played well. We put pressure on the quarterback. We put hits on the quarterback. I thought we were disruptive. Now, it may not have resulted into the sacks, and I think you got to look beyond that, because sometimes you could have coverage sacks. I thought we moved him off of his ability just to set his feet and launch the ball off his launch point. And we did that with the guys up front, all of them. I thought they were very disruptive and harassed him and made him move and throw throws that were not ideal when it comes from a accuracy standpoint because of the pressure up front. So I thought they played well.
You've played 2 really good opponents 0-2.
Yeah.
How important is it to get that win heading into conference now?
Yeah, I think it's big. This is a game I think we're capable of winning. It won't be given to us. We'll have to earn it. But I think we face an opponent that's similar to us in talent. I like our team. I like the way that we've progressed. I like their attention into our first day of practice on yesterday. Hopefully we can get some more practices in with these things brewing in the Gulf. We will not let that deter us. We'll continue to stay steadfast and focused on what we have to attain for a readiness against Southern University.
Did the fact that the rain the first week heading into the game at West Florida, you lost 2 days where you had to go inside.
Yeah.
Did that hurt you, do you think, or is that a concern?
I think practice helps. I think to prepare for an opponent, the more you can practice, the better you're prepared for that. We can control the things that we can, the controllables. Outside of that, we'll adjust, we'll adapt, and we'll continue to push forward. But as much, in an ideal world, as much as we can practice on the field with width and length and the ability to defend balls and to run right routes and have perspective of spatial awareness of the things that we'll see, it's important. So hopefully we're able to get some practices in.
Indoor facility?
Yeah, it's something that we've been looking at. We took a trip to a couple of universities to put that on the horizon. I know that's important for our president, it's important for our athletic director, and it's certainly something that we would be very grateful for if we were able to get as far as the team and staff.
Coach, Coach Rollins was on your staff at UTSA, former McNeese football player and grad. Can you just talk about him a little bit and the relationship?
Great man. We started in the profession together. The time I was a grad assistant in Thibodaux, he was a grad assistant here at our beloved McNeese State University, and he's a guy who's worked his way from the bottom. A guy who was in equipment, that was in football, a guy that was a student assistant, a grad assistant, and just continually ascended. I got a chance to know him when we were young together, and then watch his growth in his many years at Tulane. And when I became the head coach at UTSA, saw that he had the characteristics that you look for in leadership, and a guy who was intellectually wired the right way. And so we hired him there as a position coach, and he eventually became our defensive coordinator. I think he's a bright mind. I think he's a outstanding human being, an outstanding football coach, and he certainly has Southern headed in the right direction.
Anybody on Zoom have anything for Coach?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in. Coach, it's Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. 3 road games, 2 in Baton Rouge, and then the following. How difficult are these games to win when you've got 3 back-to-back road games? Kind of talk to this team and how they're going to approach. This is number 2 on the list, and then you got conference on the road as well.
Yeah, number one, we look forward to going to Baton Rouge to play in that venue. It's a hostile one. Well, it's certainly one that we welcomed, and it's never easy to get a W down there, but we were game for it. We get ready to go back to Mumford Stadium to take on Southern University, another environment that I promise you'll be able to hear the band from Southern all the way here in Lake Charles. They're loud. They're engaged, and they do a great job with their fan support. It'll be difficult. It'll be tough to go down there and win, but certainly we feel we can. And the ones beyond that, we'll deal with them as they come. But this one is the most important one because it's the next one. And so anticipating a hostile environment, Rick, and it'll probably be very difficult to go, but certainly something that we're up for.
Let me do a quick follow-up. You mentioned about rhythm and tempo and the offense. There were really, from my memory, no targets, no catches by Wood. I believe 1 catch by Pierce, and maybe no targets even for Pettigrew at tight end. Was that based on simply the difficulty of protection and that rhythm and tempo question that you didn't get more of your playmakers involved? I'm assuming they were in the game plan and will continue to be in your game plan.
Yeah, they were in the game plan. There were opportunities that plays were designed to target, and either one way or the other by good coverage from our opponent, or pressure from up front, or one thing or another, they made it difficult for us to be able to have that rhythm. And so they certainly were involved in the game plan. There certainly were opportunities that we would have liked to target them. But to be smart with the football is something that we hang our hat on. And so the difficulty of being able at times to create separation from such corners that they had, or the ability to sustain from a blocking standpoint, made that a little challenging for us. I probably could have done a better job in helping us uncover people from a schematic standpoint.
And another quick follow-up on the offense. Hutterson has proven he can run between the tackles, but he's also shown that he can also kick it outside into space. I haven't seen a lot of him in space. Again, can you address that in regards to trying to get him more on the outside type run?
Yeah, it was that run when he ran around the end, and that 280-pound defensive end ran by him. We tried. Yeah, we tried in last week's game plan. It was in, and he did have a perimeter run. They're small gaps. We call it saving space, where you get vertical. And to get vertical is to gain yardage, to advance the football. That going sideways against the last opponent was challenging. We wanted to stretch them laterally, only to make a vertical cut. And we were able to do it at times and get some yardage on it. The very first play design, we tested their perimeter with a quarterback run that picked up 7 yards or so. And we went back to a couple of others that may have been one block away. It was also close, Rick. You go back and you look at the film, and it's always just that close, just that one block. If he just got a piece of them, and we could be speaking a little different this morning, but close doesn't get it. You got to get the job done.
One more question, and I'll step aside. Address and I don't want to jinx him because I know he's going to come to the podium, but Orgeron now has whatever the number is, 151 without a pick, only one turnover on you call it a bang play. Talk about the importance going forward of minimizing these turnovers. And I know it's obvious, but this is something that can really behoove this offense if they can continue to protect the ball, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But Orgeron been able to really make good decisions and keep this streak alive, if you will, and then minimize turnovers in the run game and on special teams as well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I can. It's something that we really don't talk about. We have a creed around here, and it's all about the ball. And we speak it, we live it, and we charge one another to be accountable with it. How do you take care of the ball? That for this team, for this university, we have 105 players, and we chose you. We chose you to put that ball in your hand to lead us, to get the ball in the proper spaces, to run with it, to throw it, to catch it, to get it in the end zone. And we charge our defense with trying to take it away. And so our creed is something that we live by. I think he, as well as the other guys who touch the ball, are conscientious of it because we speak it on a daily, on a weekly basis. Every day at practice, we have a period dedicated to ball security. It's a part of what we do as routine as warming up, doing calisthenics. We take care, we talk about it and we deal with ball security. Not just talk about it, but do it. And I think he's conscientious in his decision making. I think that is something that is real, not just to Cody, but to everyone else. As his streak, he was about to break the record. Again, it was something we didn't talk about with him. We just let it happen naturally for him and didn't make it bigger than what it was. We just played the next snap, the next down, with that in mind of protect the team, protect the ball, because it is all about the ball for our team.
That's right.
One real quick thing is, have you committed to kicker now, or is it still open kicking?
Yeah. So
punting wise, you went with 2 punters.
Yeah. So from a PAT standpoint, Nolan Heitmeyer earned the opportunity last week, and the one that we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity for had outstanding operation time, had the height that we want to, and went through the upright exactly the way we practice it. So hopefully he can continue to do that. As the ball get further out, we still have different guys that that on a weekly basis audition to have the consistency we desire. The tough thing about that is they all make them in practice. And so, you don't know. I promise you, we practice it and it goes to the upright. As much as you guys think we don't, Rick, we practice it every day, right? Kicking it through the upright. And then sometimes things just don't unfold that way in a game situation. And so we'll continue to monitor those guys with consistency. And then I'm confident they'll be ready to go this weekend and any other weekend that we have opportunities to kick field goals, and we won't hesitate to do so.
What about the punting, though? Wow.
Yeah, we have 2 guys who will continue to work at the punting based on their specialty.
4 questions in a row about kicking. Is it kind of one of those things where you're just going to kind of ride the hot hand like you do with running back sometimes?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, truthfully, yes, until we can find someone that can consistently do it.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.